On November 24, 1936, in Providence, Rhode Island, a little boy was born into a humble working-class family. No one could have imagined that one day he would grow to become a global symbol of justice and compassion. That boy was Frank Caprio, the judge the world will forever remember, not only for the black robe he wore on the bench, but for his warm heart, wisdom, and boundless empathy. Frank was more than a judge, more than a politician, more than an educator. He embodied a rare blend of fairness and humanity. His courtroom, broadcast through the program Caught in Providence, was never just about traffic violations or minor infractions. It was a place where the world witnessed justice with a human face. A place filled with smiles, shared understanding, and sometimes even tears. From television to social media, his presence touched millions across the globe. Viewers didn't tune in merely to learn the outcome of a case. They tuned in to witness life lessons, how to treat people with respect, how to listen with empathy, and how to balance justice with mercy. Frank Caprio was never just a name. He became a symbol of compassionate justice, an icon who reminded the world that kindness has the power to transform even the stern walls of a courtroom. His journey, from a modest childhood to becoming a judge beloved worldwide, remains a story that moves hearts everywhere. Frank Caprio's journey began in the tight-knit Italian-American neighborhood of Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island. He was the son of Antonio Caprio, an immigrant from Teano, Italy, who worked tirelessly as a fruit peddler and milkman, and Filomena Caprio, whose family had roots in Naples. From his earliest days, Frank was surrounded by strong cultural traditions, faith in family, and the dignity of hard work. As a boy, Frank balanced his education with small jobs to help his family. He washed dishes, shined shoes, and did whatever he could to contribute. These early responsibilities didn't burden him. They shaped his resilience, humility, and sense of responsibility. At Central High School, Frank stood out not just for his academic achievements, but also for his athletic talent. In 1953, he became the state wrestling champion, an early glimpse of his discipline and determination. He carried that same drive into higher education, earning his bachelor's degree from Providence College in 1958. But Frank's love for learning did not stop there. By day, he worked as a teacher of American government at Hope High School, and by night, he pursued his law degree at Suffolk University in Boston. Balancing work and study demanded enormous dedication, yet Frank thrived. This pursuit of knowledge and self-betterment was a reflection of the values instilled in him since childhood. Beyond academics, Frank also answered the call of duty. From 1954 to 1962, he proudly served in the Rhode Island Army National Guard as part of the 876th Combat Engineer Battalion. His service took him to places like Camp Varnum in Rhode Island and Fort Indiantown Gap in Pennsylvania. Those years taught him discipline, loyalty, and the importance of serving one's community, principles that would guide him for the rest of his life. From humble beginnings, Frank Caprio was steadily building the foundation of a life that would one day inspire millions. Frank Caprio's dedication to community and fairness naturally led him into public service. In 1962, at just 26 years old, he was elected to the Providence City Council, where he served for 6 years. Even then, people noticed his deep compassion for ordinary citizens and his unwavering belief that justice should serve all, not just a privileged few. In 1970, Frank ran for the office of Attorney General of Rhode Island. Although he did not win, this moment revealed his courage and determination to fight for the principles he valued most. Setbacks never discouraged him. Instead, they only strengthened his resolve to continue serving the people of Rhode Island. His public career kept expanding. Frank was a delegate to the Rhode Island Constitutional Convention in 1975 and participated in 5 Democratic National Conventions, playing a role in shaping political life at both the state and national levels. Later, he was appointed chairman of the Rhode Island Board of Governors for Higher Education, where he oversaw institutions such as the University of Rhode Island and Rhode Island College. His leadership in education reflected his lifelong belief that opportunities for learning could change lives, just as they had changed his. But perhaps Frank's most defining role came in 1985 when he was appointed as Providence Municipal Court Judge. It was a position he would hold until 2023, nearly 4 decades of bringing fairness, compassion, and humanity to the bench. In that courtroom, Frank Caprio became not just a judge, but a trusted figure who embodied justice with a human touch. Even beyond his legal career, Frank was a man of vision. He became a partner in the beloved Coast Guard House restaurant in Narragansett, showing his entrepreneurial spirit. And in 2025, he shared his life lessons and philosophy of compassion in his heartfelt memoir, Frank Caprio, Compassion in the Court. What began as local service soon turned into something far greater. Frank's career would take him from the chambers of Providence to the television screens of millions around the world. While Frank Caprio had already built a respected career in law and public service, it was the television show Caught in Providence that transformed him into a beloved global figure. What started as a modest program on local Rhode Island access television quickly grew into something extraordinary. In this show, Frank presided over minor infractions, traffic tickets, parking violations, and small disputes. Yet what captivated audiences was not the legal process itself, but the humanity Frank brought to each case. He listened not only to the facts, but also to the stories behind the people standing before him. Sometimes he laughed with them, other times he shared their tears, but always he treated them with dignity. Viewers saw a judge who looked beyond mistakes to see the person, who understood that compassion could be just as powerful as a fine or a penalty. His courtroom became a stage where kindness was not weakness, but strength. By 2000, the program had been picked up by ABC station WLN-TV, expanding its reach. After a brief hiatus, it returned in 2015, just as the world was embracing social media. Clips of Frank's cases began circulating online, and the response was overwhelming. In 2017, one particular video went viral, gathering over 15 million views, and by 2022, the show had amassed nearly 500 million total views across platforms. One single clip even reached 43 million viewers, proof of how deeply his warmth resonated across cultures and languages. In 2018, Caught in Providence entered national syndication, bringing Frank's unique blend of justice and compassion to living rooms across America. Produced by his brother, Joe Caprio, the show ensured that Frank's legacy of kindness in the courtroom would endure for generations. Today, full episodes can still be found on Prime Video, allowing fans to revisit the unforgettable moments when justice met mercy. For millions, Caught in Providence was never just entertainment. It was a reminder that even within the strict walls of a courtroom, humanity has a place. Frank Caprio's influence reached far beyond the courtroom and the television screen. At his core, he believed deeply in giving back to the community, and nowhere was this more evident than in his lifelong support of education. Inspired by his father, who only had a 5th-grade education, Frank established the Antonio Tup Caprio Scholarship Fund at Suffolk University Law School. This scholarship was created to help Rhode Island students who were dedicated to improving access to legal services in underserved neighborhoods. Through this act, Frank not only honored his father's sacrifices, but also ensured that future generations could break through barriers that once held families like his own back. He went further, creating scholarships at Providence College, Suffolk Law School, and Central High School, offering opportunities for young people to chase their dreams, just as he once had. Education had transformed Frank's life, and he made sure to pass that gift on to countless others. But his generosity did not end there. Frank was an active supporter of numerous charitable organizations, including Boys Town of Italy, the Nickerson House Juvenile Court, and the Rhode Island Food Bank. His contributions helped put food on tables, support children in need, and strengthen community programs that gave hope to the most vulnerable. In 1983, he co-chaired the Rhode Island Statue of Liberty Foundation, raising funds for the restoration of both the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. For Frank, this work wasn't just about monuments, it was about honoring the immigrant story, his parents' story, and the story of millions who came to America seeking a better life. Through education, charity, and civic dedication, Frank Caprio demonstrated that being a judge was only one part of his legacy. The other part was being a servant of the people, a man who understood that true greatness lies in lifting others up. Over the course of his remarkable life, Frank Caprio received countless honors, each one a reflection of how deeply he had touched the world around him. These were not just awards. They were symbols of gratitude from communities, institutions, and individuals whose lives had been brightened by his compassion. He was awarded honorary doctorates from Suffolk University Law School, Providence College, and the University of Rhode Island, a fitting recognition for a man who had dedicated so much to the cause of education. In 2018, he received the Producer's Circle Award at the Rhode Island International Film Festival, acknowledging not only his impact as a judge, but also his cultural influence through Caught in Providence. Perhaps one of the most touching tributes came in 2023 following his retirement, when the Providence City Council renamed his courtroom to the Chief Judge Frank Caprio Courtroom. What had once been just a municipal courtroom was now a global symbol of kindness and justice, forever linked to his name. That same year, he was sworn in as Chief Judge Emeritus, a ceremonial role that highlighted the immense respect and admiration he had earned. Few judges have ever achieved such widespread recognition, not only from the legal community, but from everyday people around the world who saw in him a reflection of fairness, empathy, and humanity. Every award, every tribute was more than just a personal achievement. It was proof that Frank Caprio's philosophy, that justice should always walk hand in hand with kindness, had left a permanent mark on the world. Behind the black robe and the bright lights of television, Frank Caprio was, above all, a family man. His greatest joy was not found in the courtroom, but at home with his beloved wife, Joyce E. Caprio, whom he was married to for over 60 years. Together, they built a life rooted in love, loyalty, and devotion, raising 5 children: Frank T., David, Marissa, John, and Paul. That love only grew as their family expanded to include 7 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren who became the pride of his later years. To the world, he was Judge Caprio, but to his family, he was a husband, a father, and a grandfather whose warmth, humor, and gentleness shaped the lives around him. He carried the same compassion from his courtroom into his home, where laughter and affection filled every moment. Frank also had a playful side that revealed the boyish joy he never outgrew. One of his proudest personal achievements came in 2019 when he threw the ceremonial first pitch at Fenway Park during a game between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. A lifelong Red Sox fan, this was not just a sporting honor. It was the fulfillment of a dream he had carried since childhood. That moment, surrounded by cheers, was pure joy for him. Family, tradition, and community were the constants in his life. They were the anchor that grounded him and the source of strength that carried him through challenges both personal and professional. Even in his later years, Frank Caprio showed the same strength and grace that had defined his entire life. In December 2023, he revealed to the world, in a heartfelt and emotional video, that he had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. It was devastating news. Yet Frank chose to face it with the same courage and dignity he had always shown. Rather than retreating into silence, he opened his heart to the public. He thanked his doctors, expressed gratitude for the love and prayers he received, and reminded everyone that no matter how difficult life becomes, hope and faith must never be abandoned. His words comforted millions, proving once again that his greatest gift was his ability to lift others up, even while he himself was in pain. By May 2024, he had completed treatment, displaying remarkable resilience throughout the journey. His bravery inspired countless people battling illness, showing them that courage was not the absence of fear, but the determination to keep moving forward in spite of it. But in August 2025, Frank faced a serious setback. On August 19th, he was hospitalized, and just one day later, on August 20th, 2025, the world said goodbye to Judge Frank Caprio as he passed away peacefully at the age of 88. His death was mourned not only in Providence, not only in Rhode Island, but around the world. For millions, it felt like losing a friend, a mentor, and a voice of kindness in an often unkind world. Frank Caprio's passing marked the end of a remarkable life, but it did not mark the end of his influence. His legacy lives on, in the countless people he inspired, the students whose futures he helped shape through scholarships, and the millions who found comfort, hope, and joy in his courtroom stories. He transformed what many considered an ordinary municipal courtroom into a global stage for humanity. Through Caught in Providence, he showed that justice is not only about rules and punishments, but also about listening, understanding, and showing mercy. His approach reminded the world that compassion is not weakness. It is, in fact, the truest form of strength. Frank's greatest wealth was never the estimated fortune of $5 million he accumulated. His true wealth was measured in the love, admiration, and respect he received from people across the globe. Every smile he brought, every life he touched, every lesson he left behind became part of a legacy that will endure for generations. To his family, he will always be the loving husband, father, and grandfather who filled their lives with warmth. To his community, he will always be the neighbor who never forgot his roots. And to the world, he will forever be remembered as the judge with a heart. Though he is no longer with us, his presence will never fade. In every act of kindness, in every fair decision made with empathy, and in every life uplifted by justice served with love, Frank Caprio's spirit lives on. Rest in peace, Judge Caprio. Your robe may be laid to rest, but your wisdom, compassion, and humanity will continue to shine forever.